All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? And thank you so much for joining me in this live stream. If you are watching it live, go ahead and type in and chat live and let me know you're here. If you're watching a replay, make sure you type replay hashtag and let me know if you're watching the replays. That way I know. But welcome to today's session. Today I want to share my top 3 tips to land government contracts as a small business that I found to be the easiest way to get contracts. Now, there are some other people that will say this is the easiest way or that's the easiest way, but this way right here, the 3 things that I'm going to share with you are the ways that I found proven, right? Not only have I successfully used these 3 strategies that I'm going to share with you, but also many of my clients, many of my colleagues, and a lot of people that I know who are in the government contracting space. So today, over the next few minutes, I'm going to share the 3 tips, my top 3 tips to help you simply land government contracts with ease. If that's all right with you, let me know that that's okay. That's something that you want to know. Okay, so now, if you stay to the end, I'm going to have an amazing gift. Most of you have already signed up for my free gift in previous weeks, but I'm going to have an amazing gift that I'm giving away for absolutely free that I've put together for you as a small business owner to help you simplify the process and the strategies of the things that we're going to be talking about today. So if you are new to my page, you never heard of me before, I'm Kawana D. I'm a government contract strategist, and I simply help women and minority small business owners grow their business with government contracts. So I teach you step by step how to do that from A to Z. So you have the full strategy. You actually become a full certified government contractor. You understand what to do, how to do it, and all that stuff. So I don't leave one stone unturned because I want to make sure that those who I'm helping are very successful and they understand completely what it is that they need to do. Okay. So here are the 3 tips that I found helpful in making it easier to land a government contract as a small business. Now, if you are a government contractor, let me know that in the chat. If you are already doing this, if you're already doing that, if not, let me know that you're new. This is a brand new concept. You've never tried it, or maybe you tried it and couldn't figure out exactly what to do and you're lost. Let me know. I want to know who you are and how I can help you. Absolutely. So are you all ready? Are y'all ready to dive into the easiest ways to land a government contract? Let me know. Let me see if I can see. Oh, hi, Latanya. Hi, Makisha. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Deanna. Hi, Farida. So you're live. All you guys, thank you so much for joining me live. New but registered and lost. Yeah. So, Makisha, I feel your pain. I know there are so many people who are new and registered and they have their certifications to do contracts, but they don't have a strategy or they're completely lost. So there's a full picture. There's a whole full picture and strategy that goes with this. And so that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to help you understand exactly what you need to do to be successful and to give you some tips and some guidance on how to, actually go after contracts and all that stuff. So if you are on this page, there's a lot of, free trainings in my group. So make sure if you're not in the group or you haven't joined the group already, make sure you go ahead and join it because there's a lot of trainings out there in the group that I've provided to help you simplify the process and to help you better understand, because I know that this is like a huge concept to grasp, but not only that, it can be very challenging and it can be difficult. And I believe it was systematically designed that way to discourage us, as minority and women and small business owners, discourage us from going after something that can completely change the total trajectory of your business. Okay. So Trofinia, I'm sorry if I butcher your name. So that is a very unique name. I like it, by the way. So I hope I'm saying it correctly. So thank you. You're new to government contracting. So Monique, I'm ready to learn, not currently certified. Cool. So one of my team members, Stacia, has dropped the link for you guys to register for my free 5-day challenge that's coming up next week. But I'll tell you more about that towards the end. But today, I just want to jump into my 3 top tips for simplifying getting government contracts so it can make it easier for you, especially for those who are new, they're lost, you don't really understand what you're doing or whatever, like I'm going to share with you some tips and strategies. Okay. So y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay, cool. Monique says she's already registered for the 5-day challenge. I'm super excited about that. You're certified, but what do I do now? How do you attain? How do I? Okay, Yvonne, I'm gonna share with you. I'll share with you. In fact, I'm gonna message you directly. So I'll have my team contact you directly if you want to know how to obtain my services. And thank you. Oh, okay. So Trofinia, you're a certified service disabled veteran. Girl, you are in demand. You're in high demand. Okay. And I'll probably do a training in particular just around that, right? Just around the demand of different types of certifications. So I'm gonna make a note, a mental note, and hopefully I'll remember to do that. Okay, so certified and ready to get that first contract, already started bid. So good, Valexia. That's awesome. Certified but new to government bidding process. Okay, I'm registered for the training too. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in. Brand new and need steps. So D. Okay, cool. So you're brand new and need the steps. So I think I have some a training in the group already about what are the steps to, getting started, but also you will be a perfect candidate for the free 5-day challenge. So make sure you register with that, because that's the first step, right? That is the first step. And I try to make it very easy by breaking it down into these little bite-sized little, modules and content and stuff like that, because I know that this stuff it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, but that is going to be the first step, really, just getting pre-qualified and understanding what do you need to do. So that make sure you register. Okay, cool. So you already registered. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and dive in and let you know what are the top 3 ways that I found to be easier when it comes to landing government contracts. Yeah. So I changed the date. I had my baby passed away, my daughter. So yeah, we have a loss in the family. So we're having like services and all that stuff. So I have to push it out. I know you guys understand. So by the grace of God, I am on here today still. But there's a lot going on, but I'm here. I'm happy to be here. And, I don't want to get into that because, I'll break down. But so let's go ahead and dive right in. So what are the 3 tips that I found helpful that makes it easier to land government contracts as a small business? So tip number one, the easiest way. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you all for the prayers. Okay. I can't even look at y'all messages. Okay. I can't even look at those right now. So thank you all. So number 1, subcontracting. Right. So if you don't know what that is, there's 2 major ways. There's a couple different ways to land government contracts, but 2 of the top major ways are prime contracting and subcontracting. And I'm going to tell you what the difference is. So as a prime contractor, if let's just say you're a gardener and there's a contract out for gardening or landscape, right? As a gardener, you can go after that contract as a prime contractor, right? It's exactly in alignment with what you do. Okay. Now, for subcontracting, using this same exact example, if there's a contract under, let's just say, I don't know, groundsman or something like that, or let's just say, building management or something, right? So you may not have a building management company, but a part of the management service is to secure the premises, to do janitorial cleanup, to do the gardening and the landscape or whatever. So there's all these different mini scopes, but you, as a gardener, you can actually perform that particular scope as, for the landscape and the gardening as a subcontractor under a building maintenance prime contractor. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay. So subcontracting is actually going to be one of the easiest ways, right? Not only, especially as a small business owner, subcontracting is easy because it's less paperwork, right? But you also are leveraging your time by, instead of doing a full complete contract and handling that as a prime contractor on your own, you're leveraging your time by providing that small scope on a bigger project, right? But also you help the primes because ideally, most of these contracts have goals attached to them, where whether it's they have to work with another small business or a woman-owned business, a percentage of their contract has to go to women, or a minority-owned business, or service disabled veteran owned business, and they get points, right, for having those subcontractors come on their team. So you're helping them meet their goals, which makes you valuable, make you a very valuable asset to these projects. Okay. So subcontracting is one of the fastest ways to actually start getting work, because there's a lot of primes that need you, but also it's easier. So it's less paperwork. You don't really have to think. You can actually start off subcontracting and learn about contracting while you're a sub, like taking care of the smaller task, right? In fact, about 90, I would say about 90% of the contracts that I have, and I do have multiple, 90% of the contracts that I do have are subcontracts. So it is a strategy. This is a strategy in a way to simply land multiple contracts simultaneously, but also it's one of the quickest ways that you can leverage your certifications, which we're going to talk about as a woman-owned business, as a minority-owned business, as a service disabled veteran, as a Native American business owner, like all of those different socioeconomic groups, including LGBT and disadvantage. Like there's a bunch of different ones. That is your leverage. That is your ticket to get these subcontracts. In fact, the SBA, and I'll probably post this later where to find that, but the SBA has a whole website where and I gotta find the link. I'll find the link for you guys and post it later. But where they actually, there's primes on there, and they're saying for these particular services, we are looking for certified women-owned businesses. We're looking for, minority-owned businesses. We're looking for local businesses. So they're already out there saying they need you. And so that's why it's so much easier to get a subcontract. Not to say you can't jump right in and get a prime, because there's many of people that I know who jump right in and get prime contracts, but I'm just saying it's the easiest and fastest. Okay. So that is tip number one. So let me see, you have questions. How do I get my certification? So LaTanya, we're going to talk about that, but we're also having a free challenge to help you get started with that, with the first part. So Marcy, where do you find subcontracts? There's a bunch of different resources. I'll share that in just a moment. Would I have to be certified to have a subcontract? Not necessarily. You don't have to be certified to have a subcontract, but you want to think about, how can I leverage? Like what can I bring leverage? What value can I bring, right, to a prime contractor, right? And because these contracts have goals on them where they have to work with certified businesses, whether it's certified as a woman business or a minority business or a small business or whatever, because they have to work with you, that is your ticket. Okay. So it helps you bring value. So let's just say, for instance, I've been on multi-billion-dollar projects, right? Just because I'm a woman-owned business. So if these billion-dollar contractors who have these multi-billion-dollar projects have to work with and stimulate the local economy, but also provide economic development amongst the small business community in all of these different capacities, then basically you're saying, oh, okay, I qualify for that. Give me my piece of the pie. And so you definitely want to have that leverage. Okay. You always want to have leverage, right? It just makes it so much easier. And so that's why they created like all of these contracting programs, because especially for these socioeconomic groups, because it gives you leverage. It gives you access to things that wouldn't otherwise, right? Be that accessible. So hi Audrey. Yeah, so I already know that you're certified. I remember you with the SBA. So cool. That is awesome. So if you're landing contracts already, let me know in the chat. So Audrey, you may already be landing contracts as well. So anyway, that is my top number one tip, right? So number two, and this is one that I enjoy talking about the most, right? The second strategy, or the second tip that I have to make it easier to land government contracts, is you have to think outside the box. What do I mean about that? Why do I say that? And what does that mean? How can I leverage? I want you to think about when it comes to contracting and looking for opportunities, or especially subcontracting opportunities, you want to think about, how can I leverage what I do to get a piece of this pie, right? Whether it's $1 billion pie, $1 million pie, or $100,000 pie, right? You want to know how to leverage what you do. Here's a couple examples, and I'm going to share with you two examples. So let's just say I'm going to use a real life example. I'll use me, right? I'll use me as a real life example. So yeah, think outside the box, as a real life example. So there's this, there was this project. It was a multi-billion-dollar project. It was one of the first projects that I've had the honor to be on as a small business, right? So it was a construction project, multiple billions of dollars in construction. And on that project, there was a goal to utilize women-owned businesses and local-owned businesses and small business. So when they have these goals, it's a big thing, especially for like the local politicians in the local city and like the agency. It's a big thing, right? And so when you meet those goals as a prime contractor, it helps them get other work because it shows that they have, the good faith. They've made good faith efforts to work with these groups, but also, that they become a very reputable company for being known for working with other people, right? And being diverse on their projects. And so that's a great thing, right, for them. So when you have a project like that, which is the multi-billion-dollar construction project for what I did, right? For what I did, I'm not a general contractor. I don't do no painting, no electrical. I'm not picking up no hammers, none of that stuff. I don't do none of that, right? So I was doing photography, okay? So I had to think outside the box. What can I do? How can I use what I do to get a piece of that pie? So thinking that this is one of the most historical projects in San Francisco, and construction only happens once, right? Once it's built, right? So me thinking outside the box, I made an offer to be on this multi-billion-dollar project providing photography services, like to document the whole construction process, right, over this period of time. And so that's how I landed that particular first contract on this project. But I had to think outside the box because you would never consider photography and construction. What does that have, what does one have to do with another? Absolutely nothing. But you have to always think outside the box. But for other people, you also have to think about, so construction, I want to say, is a $1 trillion business. It's a multi-trillion-dollar business. So every time I see a crane go up, I'm like, ching, ching, that's dollar signs, right? Who's on that project? What are the goals on that project? How can I think outside the box and leverage what I do to be a part of that, to get a piece of that pie? And so here's another example. Yeah, it is. It's completely outside. I would have never put the two together. But so here's another example using that same construction $1 trillion industry, y'all. They're doing construction all over the world, right? So there's money everywhere. So I want you to think about this on construction projects. And I know another company that provides traffic signs. That's all she does. Traffic sign, multi-billion-dollar business providing traffic signs. Can anybody do that? Absolutely. Fencing. You could just have a company supplying the fences or the scaffolding, right, for construction, or the porta potties. Okay. Thinking outside the box, doing the painting or whatever, doing the cleanup or the recycling. There's catering. You wouldn't even think food and construction. You would never think that. But believe it or not, there's caterers who are certified contractors that are a part of this project. And so as a caterer or a food provider, you can get a huge contract on a construction site, right? You will never put the two. So that's what I mean about thinking outside the box. Also, all the contractors have to have certified payroll, right? So if you're in payroll, accounting, anything in finance, think outside the box. You have to think outside the box. And those are ways and strategies to really think, how can I become a part of something that I would not have otherwise thought? So hopefully that's helpful. So what does it mean to be certified? How do I get certified? What is the call? Okay, I'll share. I'll come back to your question, Allison. Providing food, cleaning, yep, uniforms. Okay, so that's another one. So who said that? Audrey. Okay, so on every construction site as well, they have to wear PPE gear. That's the hard hats, the gloves, the yellow vests, reflectors, all that stuff with the steel toe boots, all of that. If you're a supplier, if you provide clothing or apparel in any kind of way, if that's your space, right? On these projects, then you're just basically being flexible, right? So instead of providing your Boo Boo Kitty t-shirts or whatever, now you're providing PPE gear for the construction workers, right? So there's companies that's cleaning up water bottles. You can get millions of dollars on these projects just providing water, because these contractors have to provide water on their sites. And so I'm giving y'all game. I'm giving y'all game. I'm giving y'all game. And anybody can do this stuff, okay? All the contractors have those little trailers where they have offices, right? Guess what they need? Printing services. They need paper, to print, office supplies, all of that stuff is game, okay? So I stayed a little bit long on number 2, but I wanted to share that with you. Property management need in construction projects. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, so cool. All right, so that's number 2. So number 1 was subcontracting is the easiest way. Number 2, understanding how to think outside the box. Use those examples. And this is this is a recorded session, so it'll be here for you guys to go back to it and do a review and all that stuff. You can pause and start thinking outside the box, right? And then number 3 is being consistent. Okay, you can't just work at your business whenever you feel like it. Okay. When you have an opportunity to become a part of something, hey, Andrea. Oh, yeah. So, Andrea, oh my God. Yeah. For what you do, girl, you could be killing the game. That's what I already told you. So, yeah, definitely. So you can't just work at your business whenever you feel like it. With results, if you want to get results, you have to be consistent. Whether this is something that you're doing daily, weekly, monthly, or whatever, you have to consistently be working at what you want to do, right? If your plan is to land even your first contract, right? You can't just look at a site for opportunities one time and never bid, or you can't not ever bid, or if bid once and be like, oh, it didn't work, they're not giving contracts to Black people. I hear that all the time. But and you don't see a lot of the only reason why you may not see a lot of Black businesses on contracting projects is because they don't know. They're not in position. They lack the knowledge. They may be skeptical, right? A lot of people are skeptical. Some don't want to invest in themselves. They don't want to learn nothing new. They think it's a fraud or whatever. And that's what sets us back. Okay. But there are minorities. In fact, I'm one. I think I'm Black. I think I'm a woman. I think all that stuff. And so there are opportunities out there, but consistency plays the key. Okay. Once you have that consistency, and you're consistently, looking for opportunities, whether it's a sub opportunity or a prime opportunity, you're consistently, just rethinking outside the box. How can you leverage what you do and switch it up a little bit to be on a project as a subcontractor? Consistency is key. Okay. That's going to be key. For anything that you want to accomplish. Okay. So I have a couple questions here. I'm going to look through y'all questions. So you have to be ready for the challenge, because it's a challenge if you own it's definitely a challenge if you own your business. And so that's why I also say being consistent is very key, because sometimes people, again, they do something and it failed the first time and it'd be like, oh, it didn't work. But you have to keep trying again. I think Aaliyah said it best when she says, if at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Dust yourself off and try again. So you always have to try again. John Maxwell, who was one of my first favorite success leaders, talks about failing forward, right? If you fail, that's okay. Fail forward, learn from your mistakes, ask questions. What did I do wrong? How could I have made it better? What am I missing? Consistency is going to be key. So let me recap. So thank you, Jamel. Hi, Jamel. We don't know. You're always so informative. Thank you so much. I just feel so blessed, right? I feel blessed to be able to just even share this information, to be, because I think is very important to get this type of information out to the community, specifically because when I first started contracting with the government, when I first discovered this whole government contracting thing, I was like, this is $1 trillion secret. You know what I mean? I had friends who were doing this like forever, and never said anything to anybody about it, building multi-billion dollars of business. And so I was like, what are you doing? Like, for real, seriously, let me know how did you do this? Right. And so it is a $1 trillion secret, even though the information is public. when it comes to government, we all know information is everywhere, right? So you have to figure out how to put the pieces together, and it'll take you some time, and it's easy to get distracted, and it's easy to get discouraged and be like, oh, forget it. It's just too much to learn. Like, you got to go to a whole university. But when you have people who have accomplished things and that are willing to share with other people, how did they do it? Make the steps, like share the blueprint and share like little nuggets like this. It just makes it so much faster. It helps you to learn faster. You can learn from other people faster. And so two heads are always greater than one, right? So thank you, Andrea. I'm glad you tuned in too. Okay, so I seen some questions. I want to go back to the questions. Is there a standard bid form recommended bid? Okay, so let me go back to the top. Let me see. So there's some questions on here I wanted to answer. You have to be ready for the challenge. Standard bid. So is there a standard bid form? No, there's not. Every opportunity is going to tell you exactly what they want and how they want you to respond to it. So there's no such thing as like a bid template. Your first bid is going to be your template, right? Because it's going to ask you things about your business, your experience, and some bids are easier than others, and there's different types of bids, and all of this stuff is what the things that I cover inside of my program, because you have to know how to respond to each type of bid appropriately, right? So there's no standard bid form. Yep. So Trophenia said, you're so right about some Black businesses. Yeah, we have a lot of skepticism in our community, y'all. You gotta wake up, because we don't know. You're always informative. Okay, let me see. I'm one. There's a lot of Black companies working in government contracting, and it is, Nicole. You're absolutely right. So there's a lot, and so that goes to show that people are like, what, Black businesses don't get contracts. They don't really. The government don't care about us and whatever. But I have this new thing that I'm saying. We're talking about this whole Black Lives Matter. Black businesses matter, and here's why. The government is spending trillions of dollars in contracting every single year. In fact, multiple trillions, because within the first quarter, they've already spent like 2 trillion or 1.4 trillion just between March and like June on COVID response. In fact, there's a lot of contracting opportunities right now that you can clean up if you are a janitorial business. I mean, anything in response to COVID, like if you can provide masks or supplies or, N95 mask and, all of that, hand sanitation, all that, mobile lab services or anything mobile or anything in related to COVID, you can absolutely kill a game right now. So the government is spending money. Okay. Are there mental health contracts? Yes, Danielle. There's contracts for mental health services. Let me see. I don't want to miss somebody. I know somebody had a good question and I was going to answer it, but I can't remember where I saw it. But is property management services needed in construction projects? So there's maybe not. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So property management. Yeah. But you have to get ahead of the game, because normally before there's a project that comes out, there's like, there's some negotiations that's going on in the background. So you have to kind of be ahead of the game in order to be a part of that project management part, that property management part. But definitely there are contracts specifically for property management, and there's also opportunities for you to be a part of like property management on construction projects if you get in ahead of time. Because normally what they'll do is they'll put out like a pre-bid or have a pre-bid meeting about a project, and they'll start making negotiations about what's needed on that project. And so a lot of times it's building relationships from the beginning. So Doris says, how do you get contracts? So first you want to make sure that you are in position. Okay. So what I love about Beyonce is because there's a lot of subliminal messages in the music that she provides, and especially aimed towards like Black enterprise, right? Or just building a new Wall Street for, Black folks and stuff like that. So anyway, getting information. You have to get information. That is her song, Formation. Like, let's get into formation. So you have to get information. And so that's why I have this this upcoming, and here's what I have for you guys. So in case you haven't already figured it out, but I have a free upcoming 5-day challenge where I'm going to be helping small business owners get information. What does that mean? I'm going to help you get pre-qualified. Pre-qualifications is the first step to becoming a government contractor if you're not already a contractor. But even if you are a contractor and you're trying to figure out things and you're completely lost, that pre-qualifications part, that challenge is going to help you understand. It's going to help you better understand, right? Because sometimes, people will just say, go over here and do this and go over there and do that, but you have to understand the psychology behind it to get the full picture. That's what I give during the 5-day challenge. I give you the full picture so you'll understand what it is that you have and where it is that you're going. You'll have more direction. Okay. So that's it. Let me see, where am I in my notes? I do have notes. So now that you know that landing government contracts is more of a strategic effort, right, than it is a science. It's more of a strategic effort than it is a science. Let me know if this is something that you want to learn more about. And if so, I want to invite you to join me in my 5-day challenge. Now, this is for you. If you're a small business owner and you want to get your services to more clients, or you want to land more clients. Okay. It's for you. If you ever wonder how some people have major success working with major clients and being on huge projects, and you secretly wish that was you, government contracts is going to be a way for you to become that success story for yourself. Okay. This is also for you if you're an entrepreneur who lost business during the pandemic. Okay. And you want to figure out how to get back. Right. And so if you lost services, if you lost clients, if you lost opportunities during the pandemic, and you want to know how to bring your business back, right, from a huge and tremendous loss, this is going to be one of the biggest ways, because guess what? People are landing multi-million-dollar contracts right now during the pandemic. Is out there. The money is there. It's just the client. What type of client base do you have? So if you're depending on individual people, then of course, because people are in a state of panic, of course, because of what's going on in the media, but also we're trying to figure out, are the shelves going to be empty? Do I need to have my money so we can fly to space? It's a lot of craziness going on, right? And so individuals, if you're depending on individuals, they don't want to just put their money out there if they right now. And so you have to find a customer that is always spending money and that is absolutely fail proof or economy proof. And the government is that. The government never fails. The government never fails. They're always spending money. They never are broke, right? And so if you want a proven step-by-step system to simply grow your business, then without having to chase customers, of course, government contracts is one of the ways to actually get that and obtain that. So I'm going to give you free access to my upcoming 5-day challenge where I will personally help you get pre-qualified to do business with the government. Okay. Even if you're already a certified firm and you haven't landed your first contract, I want to invite you to join, because maybe there's something that some nuggets that you can get during this challenge, or something that you're missing, right, that you didn't really fully understand. Because if you had, and I know a lot of small business owners that just have the certification, you don't know what to do. Like, I'm certified, what's next, right? You have to know what to do next. You have to understand what it is that you have. You have to know the power that you have when you have these certifications, how to leverage that, and understand what it is that you truly have as a value that you can offer to the government. And those are all the things that I cover. So accountability is going to be very key. And it tends to be one of the biggest struggles that small business owners have when it comes to just growing a business. And so over the 5-day challenge, you have my personal help to make sure that you're accountable to getting information so that you can pre-qualify your business for government contracts and know what to do. Okay. Is that okay? If that's all right, let me know in the chat. If you're serious about this and you want to move forward, let me know. If you're already registered for the challenge, also let me know. But that's it. So I just want to do a quick recap of what we covered today. My top 3 tips to land government contracts easy is subcontracts, thinking outside the box, and being consistent. Okay. If you can master those 3 things, literally, once you have your certifications, you can build a multi-billion-dollar business in no time. Consistency is going to be key. And some people don't even care about that. Don't even care about wanting to build. I don't care about building millions. I don't care about building billions. I just want to survive, or I just want to get to 6 figures. So if you're a small business and if you've never made 6 figures in your business, you can get your first contract could be 6 figures, and it's not going to take you 40 hours of a work week, right, to do that. Very less than part-time, okay, is what I'm saying. And so if that's something that you want, you definitely want to do business with the government. And that is how I show you, I share with you how to do that. Now, if you already want to skip the line, you're like, forget all this challenge stuff, I don't care about getting pre-qualified, I just want to work with you, I want you to help me, right? Qualifyforgovernmentcontracts.com. Just go there, qualifyforgovernmentcontracts.com. Go there, connect with my team. We'll get you enrolled into my program where I personally walk you through the entire process, give you the whole blueprint and the whole strategy. Okay. All right. So, hi, Dwayne. Hi, Arivia. Let me see who else. Andrea says, I'm ready. Evangelist says, great. Okay. So any other questions before we go? Oh, wait. It's a lot of stuff down here that I didn't see. Let me see. Danielle's registered. Okay, cool. Thanks for the information and song references. I'm definitely interested. You're welcome, Bish. And let's see, applying for business government contracts, same as nonprofit. Oh, is it? Wait, same as nonprofit. Do you need grant writers for business government No, you can apply yourself. Okay. So yeah, so definitely all of this stuff you can definitely do yourself. So government contracts is not the same as nonprofit. So they have for-profit and it contracts for profit, and for the most part on the local level they have contracts for like nonprofit stuff. But you don't need a grant writer. Yeah, you don't need a grant writer because they're not grants. It's not like free money or anything. You actually have to provide a service, do the work, or provide supplies or whatever type of business that you have. Okay. I just registered. Okay. Put that link in the chat. Okay. Qualify for government. It's so hard to type with nails. I normally don't get nails, but got a special event coming up. Okay. So oh, thank you. Thank you. I think one of my team members just put it in there. All right, cool. Is being certified the same as being registered in SBA? Yeah, maybe. So so when you say registered in the SBA, Evangelist, does that mean you are a woman-owned small business certified with the SBA? Do you have a completed registration with sam.gov? And that is just the federal, right? So there's others, right? Besides the SBA is the federal. But there's state and local. So there's a bunch of other things that, that you want to be positioned for as well. But to answer your question, when you say registered in with SBA, what does that mean? She's right. These are not grants. I'm a certified grant writer as well. Yeah. So Fatima. So I'm glad you mentioned that because a lot of times people think government contracts is a grant. I'm like, no, it's not a grant. If you want information about grant, maybe reach out to Fatima or She Boss Talk, which is an amazing young lady who helps people get grants. So grants is something totally different, something for free. Like if you want free money, right? We're talking about money that you work for, contracts that you work for, getting 5, 6, and 7-figure contracts, providing a service for the government. So Allison, I cannot find your question, but post it again. Let me see. I was trying to scroll through, but it's a lot of stuff in here to scroll through, but post your question again. I remember, I think it was you that I wanted to answer your question, but post it again. If you can, please. Thanks. I'll soak this all in. Okay. I'm ready for different. Okay. All right, Olivia. See, yes, I do with the SBA federal. Okay, so yeah, so that means so if you're federally certified, then you can bid on federal contracts. Okay, and do know that for federal contracts, if when you're federally certified, that means you can do business all over the United States, any state, all 50. I think it's 51 states now, all 50 states or whatever. And sometimes local projects have federal dollars tied to it. So you can actually do federal business right in your backyard or right in your city. Okay. Let me see. Can't wait for the challenge. Can you answer my question above? So Fatima, I don't see your question, hon. Yeah, but post it. Sorry. Sorry if I can't, because it's a lot to scroll through and I don't want to have a lot of dead space scrolling through. But if you have a question that I haven't answered, just post it again if you don't mind. Marcella, I would like to move forward. Okay, so go ahead, Marcella, with the government, qualify for governmentcontracts.com. So the link is in somewhere in the chat. Let's see. Is there a standard bid form? Oh yeah, so I did answer that already, Evangelist. There is no standard bid form. There's no standard bid form. So every contract opportunity is going to tell you what they want. They're going to tell you, we want your history, we want references, how would you perform this scope. So everything is going to be different. So there's no standard. However, when you do your first bid, then you're going to use that as your standard, right? Because in future opportunities, they may ask for some of the same stuff, and so that becomes your template. So so yeah, you create your first your own standard bid template and all that stuff. So how do you find stuff? Oh yeah, Marcy, that's what it is. And do you know if there are contracts for, I don't even know what that is. Recidivism. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. I have no idea what that is. My nonprofit. Oh, okay. So is that like reentry? Yeah. So reentry stuff. Yeah. Yeah, there's contracts for that. Federal prisons, like there's all different. In fact, I seen a contract, and I'm gonna tell y'all, one of my clients, after within 8 weeks of working with me, she landed her first contract and providing prosthetic wigs. Okay, so if they're buying prosthetic wigs, if they're buying shoes and pencils and pieces of paper, then best believe if you have something, you know, any type of service, right? If you have a valuable service, right, then there's contracting opportunities for you. So absolutely, there are things for you know, reentry. I don't know what recidivism. Sorry, I did go to college and I did get a bachelor's and a master's, and I've never heard that word. So sorry, but yeah, they have contracts for just about anything. So yeah, reentry. Yeah, travel agencies, yes, absolutely, they have that. In fact, in the prison, they I seen a contract one time, I think it's been about 3 years now, but it was like a $200,000 contract for a hairstylist, right, to come into the prisons and do the women's hair. And so that's why I say you always got to think outside the box. So who would ever think that? Like, what hairstylist would even think, I'm going to go into the prison, or I'm going to go get a contract with the government, you know, just doing the women's hair in the prison? 200,000 for, I think it was a two-day contract. That's $100,000 a day. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so for smaller contracts, how do you approach government departments that do not need to post their needs on bid pages? Okay, that's a strategy. That's a strategy. And I'm going to share with you. But I do share this in my premium program. But here's a strategy. I don't care about sharing it, right? I'll share it with y'all today because I'm feeling giving. I feel like giving, right? So how do you approach that? So okay, so and here's a tip and a strategy that I share, you know, with my my personal clients. Okay. Oh, recidivism is a new term. Okay, I've never heard. That's why I say I never heard that word before. So anyway, all the government agencies have what's called a threshold. This is something, you know, that I learned from my coach, because believe it or not, I have a business coach as well. I have several business coaches, so I do invest in myself as well. So there's every government agency has what's called a threshold. And here's a strategy. Here's a backdoor strategy that a lot of small business owners don't even think about, don't even consider, but it's a strategy, right? And so so the threshold means that if they have an opportunity or scope of work that's over this particular amount, by law, they have to put it out for bid. Okay. So that's called basically a threshold. So for example, if the Department of, you know, Transportation has a contract opportunity or whatever, and their threshold is 150,000, anything at 150,000 or over has to go out for bid, right? But you as a small business owner, if you're already a certified small business, you know, with these agencies, and there's something that you want to directly go after or pitch or propose to an agency under that threshold, right? Then what you do is you find out, well, what is the threshold for this particular agency? You find out what that threshold is first, right? And you create a proposal and go directly to that agency. And because it's below the threshold, it doesn't have to go out to bid, and you can just get a contract just like that. You can say, hey, I have a $50,000 service that I want to provide. I want to go into the Department of Transportation and just look around, right? Be the looker or whatever. I'm just making this up. Be the looker, once a month, right? So you have 12 days for $50,000 or whatever. And because if that's something that they want, if it's something that's aligned with that agency, something that can serve them, that they need, and you have a purpose, right? And you can explain how that will benefit that agency. If they want to sign that contract, they can, and it will never go out to bid. And that's how you go after those smaller contracts with agencies. Okay. So that is all the game. That is all the game I got for y'all today. I've been on here running my chaps for about 45 minutes. And I like to keep these things small and short. Okay. So the proposal is what I really need help with. That's my hold up. Okay. So it's really, so I think that let's go through let's go through the challenge. Like if you're already registered for the challenge, or if you want to just, skip the line and go into, working with me. I work with, my clients inside my program on actual proposals. Like we go over what type of proposals, how to respond, what they're asking for, how to put together your bid, all that. So we go through all that. Okay. So it's 95 city departments. Yeah. So Jamel just brought up is 95 city departments. And that's just within San Francisco, because we're both in the same city, but every city has so many departments. So when you think about that, there's 95 potential local agencies that you can do business with, right? And then on the state level, right, there's however many state agencies, and then on the federal level, it's an endless pool of opportunities, y'all. Okay, thank you, Tracery. So that's it. So thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to hop off. Oh shoot, I got a class. I have to work with my clients in like 10 minutes, y'all. So I have to go. But be sure to join the challenge. Stacia, my team member, she did put the challenge link in the chat. So it's govconchallenge.com. So make sure you go there to sign up for the challenge. And also, if you just want to skip the line directly, just get started and working with me. If you know this is something that you want to do and you want my help, then you can go to qualifyforgovernmentcontracts.com. But I'll check you out all next time. Next Friday, I'm here again live, and I'll have some more tips and strategies to help you with your business. Okay. So y'all have a great day. Thank you. So Allison, go ahead and drop your question, hun. I didn't see your question, but drop your questions before I jump off, because I have a class to teach in like 10 minutes. So I gotta at least have 5 minutes to drink some water or something, because I'm hecka dry. So did you have a question, Allison? My questions. Drop your chat. Post your question, because I don't see it. I don't see it if you have a question, but that's going to be the last question that I take. Let me see. Allison. Oh, what is certified? Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. I'm so sorry. I found it. I see it here. Okay. So what is certified? How do you get certified, and how much to get certified? Okay. So certified means, okay, so you can look at me and see that I'm a minority African-American woman. Okay. You can look at me and say that. But on paper, when you go get a business license, on paper it's just a business license. It don't say black owned business or minority owned business or woman owned. It don't say that. And so you actually have to basically officially certify your business as a woman owned business or as a minority owned business. And on the government side, when you do it yourself, and this is something that we walk through in my program, it's free for you to certify your business as a woman-owned business, as a minority-owned business. It's absolutely free. There's companies, of course, that can do it for you, do the paperwork. But when you get that certification, what do you do with it? So you have to understand the full picture. And so it's absolutely free for you to certify the business for yourself. And that's what you do. Basically, you're saying officially you're known on document by the government as a woman-owned business and as a minority-owned business. So there's a certification that a certificate that you actually get that comes with a certificate number that you can use to leverage opportunities that are set aside for women-owned business. Okay, so hopefully that answers your question. Get certified. Definitely, you definitely want to get certified. Capability statements be added to the SBA profile. No. So Cameron, no. Capability statements cannot be added to the SBA profile. But you could just build out like your NAICS and stuff like that. All right. So I do have to go. I'm so sorry. I do, because I have a class. I have clients that they're actually that I have to work with, and today's their final session with me. So I do have to jump off, but definitely, yeah, that explains the question that I asked. It makes sense. Yeah. So definitely that is, I'll be back next Friday. All right. So y'all have a good one. And thank you so much for all the prayers and all that stuff. And I'll see you next time. So if you have any questions in the meantime, you can post it in the group, and, I'm happy to answer any questions afterwards. Okay. All right. So y'all have a nice day. Bye-bye.